How are you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. All right, Solo. I have this. I'm going to be writing down notes, be looking at my notes. But right now, we're going to talk about how your body posture should be at the start of the trick and at the end of the trick, right? To put it simply, you need to think about when you jump, right? You go low a little bit to get that force and contract that bounce. So we're gonna do the same thing with the board when we're doing anything, okay? When you're ollieing, kickflip, heel flip, going into a manual, going into the rail. You always have to do this, which is get a little lower. Now, how do you get a little lower? That's the better question, or that's the next question, which is a lot of people tend to get lower using their knees. And flat out, that's just a compensation. Because if you realize, if you stand straight and you start bending your knees forward, you're going to feel a lot of pressure on your knees. And I don't know about you, but that just doesn't feel right, especially if I'm doing it down some stairs. So imagine doing that repeatedly the whole time you're skating. It's going to be taxing on your body. So what we want to do, and I can go ahead, I can elaborate on that stuff on why not the knees later. But what I'll say is we have to think about going lower with the hips. So bring the hip back, and as the hip goes back and you try to pop, you're gonna naturally bend your knees in if once you meet that cap of bring your hips back, right? But so as you go down, you want to go down with your hips, okay? Now, why do we want that? It's because what we should be, as I would say, leaning into is the idea that we use our hamstrings, our glutes, and our quads and our calves, everything, not just our calves, not just our quads, not just our foot, but everything so that we can ollie, okay? And that helps us use everything, include it all. It's an integrative movement, right? So, having said that, we want to go low. Like if we're going to jump, the way we go low is with our hips going back. Now, as you're doing the ollie, because we're just using an ollie, for example, you're going to notice that you're going to extend a bit to pop, to put that force. And then as you pop, you want both your knees to go up, okay? But you don't just want your knees to go up or your legs to go up. You want your body to go down too. So you're trying to like squeeze a ball between your legs and your chest, or your the front side of your body, right? That way you can allow the board to go as high as it needs to get over the obstacle or to get onto the obstacle. Now, as you're on the obstacle, or even if you're just doing an ollie, you want to make sure you can kind of float it. So don't think about just going like real quick. Think about letting yourself glide through the movement. Don't do go and let yourself slowly extend down, but only to the point where you're still a little flexed, so that when you absorb the impact, your hips are also back, like I said, and you're in a position to absorb that impact the best way possible. Okay, now where else am I gonna go? That was just for an ollie. Let me see who wrote down something. Oh, I can't understand that. All right, that's just the name. Hi. What's up? What's up, guys? So yeah, I want to do that, and you also, something to keep in mind when doing tricks is you want to lean into the front foot. So let's say I'm doing a 180. I'm going to lean into the left, and I'm regular. I'm leaning into the left side. I do the 180. My head is still up in the front, and then I land on my right side. You're always leaning to the front side, whether it's you setting up for the trick or landing from the trick. So if you're doing a 360, you're gonna start on your front side and then your front side. Okay, it's gonna be super hard, but the goal is to always land on the front side. Oh, my phone's gonna die. It's in 20%. So there's a little bit. Let me see. What does he say? Do you like what? Interesting. Yeah, so want to land on the front side. This includes even when you're going nollie, fakie, or switch. When you're going switch, if you're regular, skating switch is as if you're skating goofy. So you're gonna be on your right side. It's gonna feel uncomfortable because normally you're so used to being on the front side. You're gonna be on the right side and do the tricks from there. You're gonna even land on the right side, even though the inclination is gonna be to land on the back on your dominant foot, which is, if you're goofy, it's gonna be your right foot. If you're regular, it's gonna be your left foot. So just keep in mind that you're gonna have patterns that will be repeated as you try tricks, but you want to make sure that you're doing the right pattern for the right trick or the right type of movement, because really a 180 and a frontside flip are the same movement, but from the hip up, like, because 180 from the hip, from the waist down, doesn't have that ankle flip. Oops. But it does have that wind up. So it does do this. You wind up, okay? The only difference is you go, flick. So, same, slightly different, but you want to consider that you're doing the right thing. You're leaning, your weight distribution is on the right side. And you're setting yourself up for success, really. Because at the end of the day, you can do a trick so many different ways. It's like, that's why skateboarding is awesome, because anything's possible. We can argue there's no right way, but there is an a more efficient way to do tricks. Because you'll see it in professionals, meaning people who do it for a living. You'll see it in people who are just naturally talented, that they're going to perform under certain patterns. And so that's all this is coming from. My phone is at 10%, so I might end it real quick. But long story short, I'm a skate coach. I do private coaching. Private coaching lessons in the LA area. I even go out for competitions with the kids if they need to. And if you're interested, just let me know. Hit me up. I'm right here, the message. Been skating for 15 years. I'm sponsored by a skate shop right here locally. And I just really enjoy the sport, so I'm sticking with it and trying to help whoever wants it, I guess, along the way. But I'll leave it at that. Have a good rest of your day, and till next live.